All right, cool. We live. I'm interviewing my cameraman. He's been all over. His name's LA, likes to be called. So LA, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Los Angeles, California, born in Long Beach.
Long Beach. All right, the LBC.
Three.
So tell me a little bit. I know you traveled all over. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what you want to tell me about yourself.
Well, I can't really relate to the whole addict situation because I never let myself get drawn into it. So it wasn't drugs that put me out here. The main thing that put me out on the street was depression. That started young. Dad died when I was a kid, and then moving to a new place and losing everything we own in the process of that had a major effect. So I can't say that drugs were the cause of me being out here. It was just I gave up, stopped caring, to be honest.
What caused you to stop caring about stuff?
Watching people around me fucking destroy themselves, watching people around me die, watching the whole world devolve instead of evolve. It's just you see the rut that the world is running itself into, and you have to ask yourself, so what's the fucking point?
Okay.
And then trying to run my own life at the same time, having a family, having kids, losing my family, and then once again ending up out here. I haven't been homeless the whole time. It's been on and off. So this last run, I had a family. We were together for 8 years, and then after the COVID situation, lost my place, lost my apartment. She ended up going back to where she was from. I ended up on the street.
Okay.
And everything went to hell from there.
So, I know you traveled around a lot. Tell me about some of the places you've been, some of the things you've seen.
In regards to what? I mean, I've seen a lot.
So what you say? You said you've been to 49 of the 50?
That's right.
So traveling all these states, tell me you told me one thing I thought. What was the coolest, most beautiful place you ever been to?
Painted Desert.
Painted Desert. Tell me why.
Best place. Well, if you like the country landscape, that was the whole reason. Waking up out there in the canyons, camping out in the canyons. Just being a part of nature itself. That was pretty amazing. City-wise, I'd have to say my favorite city was either Seattle or San Francisco.
Okay.
Most welcoming, I would have to say, was Utah.
Okay.
Worst place I've ever been would have to be Detroit.
Detroit was the worst.
Detroit was the worst because that place has absolutely run itself into the ground. I'm surprised it's even a city anymore, to be completely honest. Their water supply is completely fucked. The city won't do a goddamn thing about water filtration or cleaning the sewer systems that are draining into the water. So they have no actual drinking water in that city. Jobs are absolute nil. Homeless is completely out of control. Drugs are everywhere. The system has completely failed up in Detroit.
Do you see any gun violence out there? I know that's huge.
Yeah. A little bit. I haven't seen anybody get killed in front of me, no, if that's what you're getting at. But yeah, gang violence and gun violence out there is pretty big.
Okay. What city had the best resources? As far as traveling around and
see, that's a loaded question because you can't look at it as which city has the best resources. It's a question of which city is utilizing their resources in the best way.
Okay. Well, which city is utilizing resources?
Right now, I'd have to say San Diego.
Okay, tell me why.
Because of they began the tiny house movement, setting up tiny house communities for the homeless, which started the temporary shelter situations.
Okay.
And that originally started before the tiny houses using old fucking train cars, like box cars. At one point, they're using those for housing.
All right, that's cool.
If you go down to Slab Town or Slab City, you'll see a few of those still out.
Yeah.
And then as for the drug situation, they're doing everything they can. But as in, like any other sanctuary city, they're going to protect the addict over anything. They're trying to be these people's friends more than they are trying to be their counselors and be their mentors. And you can't do both.
Be their friends as in, like, what do you mean, like, be their friends?
Hey, I understand you're going through. Yeah, it's all good, buddy. Here, have another fucking come down.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you do it. And that's where these places are failing. This harm reduction bullshit is complete bullshit. You don't give people drugs to get them off of drugs.
All right.
And that's the reason why California is facing the drug crisis and the homeless crisis that they're facing. Not to mention that the economy is like insane out there. I mean, yeah, if you get a good job, you can make enough to maintain yourself.
Yeah.
But you slip up, you're going to lose everything.
Same thing out here, man.
Yeah, everybody. It doesn't matter what tax bracket you're in. I don't care if you're making minimum wage or if you're fucking pulling 9 figures. Everybody's one paycheck away from being on the street.
All right. So, like, do you want to tell the story about how we met out here?
I'm still not completely sure how to process that. You just kind of popped up and that was it. Yeah, this fucking jackass that was drunk decided to run his mouth. And this was the guy that invited you up there, actually. And anyway, he was running his mouth. I shut him down, and we got to talking from there, and he went from being his friend to my shadow. So here we are.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Now, I know, like, I thought about, you know, I mean, I liked you when I met you, and then I saw you later on at the dinner, and I kind of, like, I gave you the rundown about this project.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you share some thoughts on kind of, like, your history with photography and what you think about this project?
Okay. As a street photographer, I've done a lot of work with, you know, shooting the homeless, doing homeless interviews for just to get a chance to get a couple pictures with them. Not necessarily interviews, but just sitting down and get to know them. I don't do something as intrusive as, you know, putting a video camera in their face. No offense. But seriously, people take this as an intrusion.
You're right. You know, some do, yeah. Well, that's why I always ask.
That's why I was warning you earlier. Be careful. People don't like it.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, being a street photographer, I've walked a lot of these miles over and over. You know, and it's not just drugs that are putting people on the street. It's not just mental health that's putting people on the street. It's not just bad economies that are putting people on the street. And there's a point to this, so just bear with me. From what I've seen and what I've watched, from being on both sides, being a housie and being a townie, all right? The whole problem with the homeless situation is a lack of social structure, a lack of emotional structure, you know, lack of social empathy. And I want to talk about empathy. I don't have any empathy. But I mean, it's true though. It's people like me that are the reason for it. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, that is the whole reason why, you know, I think it's a huge contributor to why we have the problem that we have with homelessness in the country. You know,
All right.
It's just a complete social breakdown, morally, you know, economically. You know, if you just look at the whole sociological situation, that's just it. It's environmental factors, but there's too many variables that contribute to the same cause. So you can't pinpoint it to one thing. It's all just another symptom of the same disease, but it's a matter of figuring out the disease.
What do you, like, this is the last question, right? What do you hope to gain? Like, you're going to be with me for the next year, hopefully. What do you hope to gain out of this project?
A better understanding as to why someone would just throw themselves out here for no fucking reason. Because from someone who's been on both sides of it, I can't understand why anyone would want to, you know, immerse themselves in this kind of lifestyle. You're going to have a harder time trying to fix the system from the outside, you know, my outside,
Yeah.
than you are from being in a house. Because in a house, you have respect. In a house, people look at you and they'll talk to you. In a house, people will give you a job. In in a house, people will give you a chance. We don't have that out here. We don't have that cushion.
Yeah. So you're saying like you stay out here long enough, you become lost, you become stuck out here.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we can pick up on stuff later. You know, I appreciate you giving me the time today, and you know, we got time, so like we're gonna dig into it. We're gonna learn new things. We're gonna see some cool stuff. You know, we're gonna see some stuff that might be tough,
As long as you don't get us killed.
and hopefully we survive it. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I look forward to this adventure.